All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to be doing some electrical work. Um, I've got kind of a solar backup to the grid kind of going on. Eventually, I'd like to make it um, fully solar down here, but I'm going to have to expand um, my system a little bit in order to do that. But for now, it'll kind of serve as a backup. So let me turn you guys around and show you what we got going on. All right, this is kind of the current state of where we're at right now. Obviously, it needs to be cleaned up. It's with those bus bars there, it's kind of unsafe. You know, somebody could get shocked. So we've got breaker box here installed. We're going to be bringing all of these over and then down and then into this breaker box to make it much safer. This switch right here, basically, it's a three-way switch, and it kind of serves as the kind of transfer switch. So when the switch is up, everything will be on the grid, and when the switch is down, there'll be certain things that'll be on solar. And we'll discuss kind of what we're going to do in the box here. Basically, half of the box is going to be energized with the grid, and the other half is going to be energized with the solar. So that's kind of what we're doing with this. And we're also going to put a junction box. Well, I need a junction box in here for that grid tie. So anyway, it's time to get to work. All right, guys. So obviously the first thing you want to do is make sure that you shut the power off to wherever you're working. As you can see, it's really dark over there. Went to the breaker box over there and shut that power down. And since I'm also working with solar, also made sure that my safety breaker here was off, and the inverter is off as well. And then of course test those lines with a tester just to make sure that everything's off. So I was talking about earlier about a junction box. So I have this junction box. It's rated for outside to be waterproof, but I'm gonna go ahead and just use it for this project since I already have it. It came with these two watertight I guess bushings, so to speak. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to save them just in case I need them for something else, but I'm going to go ahead and just use these regular bushings. So we're going to get the hole saw out and get some holes in this and get it mounted. All right, guys, so I got the junction box there mounted that I'm going to use. So as you can see, this is what's going to come out and then into this side of the breaker box. This side right here, I don't know if you can see it right there, it's going to go out and go to the transfer switch, and then there's one on the top that the main feed is going to come into. So now it's time to go ahead and shut the breakers off and move some wires around. All right, guys, real quick, I just wanted to show you what I had done. I was going to try to film some of it, but of course most of it was in the dark, so you wouldn't be able to see anything. So all right, so got the breaker box set up. So obviously here, you know, I'm using every other spot there because I'm using this side, or basically we call it the A side or whatever, as solar, and then the B side will be over there. Well, I guess it could be over here too, but anyway, so there's the wiring coming in. Try to keep it as nice and neat as possible. There's my wires coming in. I labeled them so I know what they are. And then there's that junction box that we put up earlier. There's the what I call like the transfer switch, and I've taken down most of those bus bars that were up there. Still got a few, but they're not connected to anything. They're just kind of holding the wires up out of the way. So I think I'm gonna stop for today and continue this maybe either later this evening or possibly tomorrow. But as you can see, I've got lights back in here, and I got the lights back in here, lights back in the closet. So all of these are on solar. So anyway, we'll continue this and I'll bring you back when I'm ready. Hey everybody. So today is Sunday. So we've had some sickness in the household, some flu stuff. My fiance, she had flu type symptoms all week, so kind of slowed down progress a little bit. But today I was able to get a few things done. This weather here today is beautiful. It's about 65 degrees. The sky is clear, sun's coming down. Pretty nice day for, the middle October. So anyway, so I did get a few things done today. Made some progress out here on this field, and I'll turn you around here a minute and show you. There's the foreman there, taking a look around, seeing what's going on. Her name's Harley, by the way, and we got her from a pretty crazy home, and now she's much better taken care of. But anyway, so I got so I had stopped probably around right here, so up to the tall grass there. So I got all that cleared out, starting to work my way around this pile here, because either at the end of this month or beginning of next month, I really want to be able to light this thing on fire. So, and also cleared out a little bit more on that end and cleared out a little bit more on here. So let's go inside and take a look at that progress. All right, so as you can see, lights have been restored to this area. Let's take a look at this. So once again, I'm not an electrician. Honestly, I really just kind of watched a bunch of videos and talked to some people and stuff like that. But so now I've got, I know it still may look kind of crazy and spaghetti-ish up there, but honestly, it's way more organized now than it was before. So still got everything coming together, coming down. There's my box, which I feel is pretty organized. It's not super crazy. The only thing I've got left to do is label this panel, the front cover, and get that up there. So I wanted to just kind of take a minute just to kind of explain what I got going on here. I know I kind of went through it earlier. It may have been a little bit confusing. So you got like the A side, which is like that breaker, and then that breaker, and that breaker, then that breaker, and then that breaker, and then also the one next to it, that breaker and that breaker. And if there was one there, there would be one there. If there's one there. So the A side is strictly solar. Coming from solar, that's the main power source for solar, or for those components, okay? Then on the B side, which would be that breaker, if there was one there, it would be there, one would be there, one would be there. Or on this side, that breaker, and that breaker, and that breaker. They're on the B side, which is on the grid 100% of the time. 100% of the time on the grid at this moment. This switch, as you can see, if it's up, which is what it is right now, then that means the A, which is every other breaker on this side, no one's across from it there, all of those breakers are on the grid. They are not on solar. Okay, They are all on the grid. So everything right now in this box is running off the grid. All right. Now, if I switch this switch here, it would be on solar. Now, why is it not on? Well, because I turned off the inverter and I turned off my safety breaker while I was working on the panel. So now no solar power will come through. Okay, but as you can see, there are still some things that are turned on, mainly in this room here. So these lights are still on because they're on the grid all of the time. Okay, this closet light on the grid all the time. Okay, all these outlets, they're on the grid all the time. Over here, this outlet and that outlet and that outlet and that outlet are on the grid all the time. Those two are on solar as well as those lights, okay? So if I switch this back over to grid, now everything's back on again, okay? So that's kind of the way this system works. Now, eventually what I would, oh, look at her. Eventually, what I'm going to do is eventually I'm going to slowly convert some of these, like the ones on the B side that are on the grid all the time. Once I expand my solar array and batteries and all that kind of stuff, then I'm going to start moving them, you know, where they need to be so that they're not on the grid anymore. And then eventually this whole basement area, as well as a few things upstairs, will be totally solar. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for this week. I'm kind of hoping that next week, you know, we'll kind of get, everybody will get over whatever the sickness thing that people have and all of that, and we'll be a little bit more productive, maybe start putting up some drywall there in the hallway. But you know, those are the things when you're working on projects and things like that, those things are going to happen. You know, you're going to have setbacks, you're going to have things that happen that mess up your schedule and throw off your timing and all of those things. So the only thing you can do is recover from that and then move forward. So anyway, we'll get back to work next week. This is Life in Missouri.